Spooky time is upon us, and it has inspired me to make my first Halloween decoration of the year. But I don't want something shiny or new. I want something old and worn and definitely haunted, and I know just how to do that. So anyway, let me teach you how we can age our laser engraved projects in just a couple of minutes. We're gonna need some wood, we're gonna need some fire, we're gonna need a laser, so let's get all those things and get to crafting.
This method does not need any harsh chemicals to age the wood. After we go over the aging process, I am going to engrave it again, 2 separate depths. I will also show you a way to paint an engraving right in your laser. So let's get going. I am using an 8.5 prefabricated pine wood circle plaque I got from Michael's. I wanted to make sure to get one with a really nice grain pattern. To start, I am engraving rather deeply a nice framed circular pattern. I don't have a fancy laser with imaging capabilities, so I have to find the center manually. I am also going to be doing this at night to try to infuse this project with any loose spirits, but that is completely optional. Once it is done engraving, I take it into the darkness for the aging process. For this, we will need to be using a torch. There are many types out there. This one is simply a small propane tank with a torch head. It may be a bit intimidating at first, but when used properly, it's totally safe. Here's some quick safety tips. Check for leaks. Keep it away from flammable things like gas tanks or dry grass. Have a fire extinguisher or water nearby. Don't use it during a burn ban. And if you accidentally start a fire, call 911 or your emergency services immediately. As you can see, I am keeping the flame close enough to the wood to char it, but not set it on fire. This is the first step to this process. Once everything is nice and crispy, it is ready for step 2. This is where the aging magic happens. We will need a wire brush. A grill brush will also work if you have one on hand. Going back and forth along the grain, we are brushing out the soft charred wood and leaving behind the harder grain ridges, all while exposing this nice surface of the sun-kissed color. This is where it starts to get exciting. Now, I have to find the middle again, and we are ready for the second round of engraving. I put a little bit of masking tape over the middle. Using the same deep engraving settings as before, I engrave a rib cage. In addition to the engraving, I go over the edges with a vector score, which is a low-level cut line, to make the edges nice and crisp. As you can see, there is a heart shape that is not yet engraved on the ribs. We will go over that soon. First, I'm going to hold this in place as I paint the ribs while it is still in the laser. This is just a bit of watered down acrylic paint. It goes on pretty bold, but as a water-based paint, it will soak up the impurities of the wood, especially with just one coat. This will help it look nice and aged. Now I'm going to engrave the heart. I wanted it to be deeper than the ribs, so I will be engraving it twice before I paint it. Hopefully I didn't move it too much inside the laser, and dang it, wouldn't you know, it doesn't quite line up anymore. So I just nudge it back into position, and it looks pretty lined up now. With how much texture it has, I'm sure it won't be too noticeable. I try not to get too down on myself when this happens. Obviously, I should have used honeycomb pegs, which I have, but you know, it's not about perfection, it's about progression. Now that the heart is nice and deep, I am going to paint that in with some red paint, while trying to avoid getting outside the lines too much. Let's unveil it. The masking tape comes off pretty easily. There is a little seepage from the white paint, but it's not too bad. I go over it a little with the wire brush again to make the paint less perfect, and you see how the white color has already darkened a bit? It's all coming together. To seal everything up, I hit it with some clear varnish spray paint. Surprise, the sun is up. It's proof I'm not a vampire, I guess. The varnish really enriches that dark color. I always have some of these hangers for the back of my projects. They are nice to have around. I use them a lot. Oh, and I almost forgot. We have to make a sticker for this. I quickly engraved one out of real wood veneer that has a sticker backing already on there. It just sticks right on, and then we're ready to hang it up. So what do you think? Does it look older than a brand new piece of wood? Maybe a little bit haunted? Time will tell. If you were wondering about that wood sticker, I actually have a whole video you can watch about that right now. I'll see you over there.
I'm getting like Beetlejuice vibes. Anyone? Beetlejuice? Oh, I can't say anymore. Okay, we're good there.